Hello angels! This is Leia and what we're doing today is taking a look at the Housewives Tarot. This is one of my most favorite decks just because it's really fun, not to mention, as I've said so many times before, I love retro and vintage stuff, and yet the messages this delivers, despite it being a fun kind of deck, are pretty meaningful. Now, even though it might appear to some to be a novelty item, you can so do helpful readings with it. Anyhow, if you enjoy receiving inspiring messages, I invite you to stay even after we review the cards because we have a bonus channeled segment that's my personal thank you to viewers and subscribers for tuning in. But for now, let's check out the Housewives Tarot. Welcome back! So let's begin by examining something I normally wouldn't give too much time to in a video like this. The box. So much attention to detail went into the box, and you can tell. Not only is it sturdy, but it looks like those old recipe boxes. There are even little dividers inside to classify the cards into the major arcana, minor arcana, and there's one for the guidebook too. And then, behind the little dividers are, get this, recipes. It is such an awesome touch. The box has a very 1950s vibe, as do the cards, of course, which we'll be seeing later. As for the guidebook, this is not your regular little white book. First of all, it's not white. And what's cool is all 96 pages count. It starts off with a story about the deck and then goes on into spreads. There are 5 layouts given here, which I think is generous of them because lots of little guidebooks that come with decks give none, or sometimes one. So this goes all the more above and beyond. And the ways the cards are laid out are so cute. It definitely shows lots of creativity, which I appreciate. And then the instruction book goes into card meanings, beginning with the majors and followed by the minors. The image, or part of the image on each card, is included, and I like how there are little reference keywords as well. The text is about half a page, and that's for every single card. So now let's move on to the actual cards. As in traditional tarot, there are 78 here. So this is what the card backs look like, and I think this goes very well with the whole 1950s housewife theme, of course. And surface-wise, they're not glossy. They have a very flat, matte finish, which you might notice later on when we take a look at the pictures on the cards. Size-wise, these are on the smaller side. And you'll notice I said on the smaller side. They're not terribly small, but they're not as long as some other tarot cards are. As for the cardstock, they're, I would say, more on the thicker side. Definitely not thin. Now there are different borders on the cards. They all have their title on top, but the majors have tiny Roman numerals below and a black and red border. Cups cards have a blue border. Pentacles are green, swords are red, and wands are this orangey yellow shade. Something that I do want to mention about the ordering of the major arcana as compared to traditional tarot is the Empress is number 2. Instead of the High Priestess, who is number 4 in this deck, which is the spot normally occupied by the Emperor, who is number 3, where the Empress normally is. I did a double take when I first noticed that a long time ago, but if it doesn't bother you and you really like these cards, it shouldn't get in the way of your readings. Now let me show you some of my favorite cards. The illustrations, in my opinion, are so awesome for the kind of deck that this is. All sorts of aspects of a homemaker's life and her environment in an old school way are depicted here. If you already follow the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot system in your readings, you'll get what the images are referring to. Would I recommend this deck to a beginner? I think the references will be better understood by those who already have some traditional tarot background, but I wouldn't say that you absolutely shouldn't start familiarizing yourself with this deck if you're really drawn to it and don't know much yet about the tarot. I myself have had this deck for quite a while now, but I admit I don't reach for it as much as my more serious decks because I feel that there's an expectation a lot of the time for readings to be a very particular way. But you know, who says that as long as they make sense, readings can't be much more fun? And that's it for our look at the Housewives Tarot. If you've been wanting more details about these cards, I hope you enjoyed looking at them with me. Hi again, angels. Welcome to our bonus channeled segment. If you came to this video only for the Housewives Tarot, feel free to exit, but if you love inspiration, as many of the regular viewers of this channel do, you might find something useful and uplifting here. All we do basically is listen for messages from our intuition, guides, angels, and other friends of the light in spirit. Multiple people may get a message, but not everyone will, so if you want to make sure you always catch future editions of this segment, do subscribe if you haven't yet. Anyhow, let's get started. This time around, I feel called to address you, who so badly don't want those around you to know in just how much pain you are. I am picking up on both physical or health and also emotional pain. Your reasoning behind this is you don't want to be a burden nor worry anyone unnecessarily, so you keep your challenges and concerns a secret. While this is likely going to apply to some of you watching this, I feel compelled to mention someone who's in a service profession. There's also someone who could be the same person or an entirely different one, that I don't know, who lives alone because you're far away from family. You don't really know the people around you that well, so you hesitate to open up to them about your concerns, and you don't want your family to worry about you when you're trying to be successful on your own, so you're feeling uncertain about how to handle all this. You don't know how much longer you can stay strong, how much longer you can continue holding everything together before something gives. But put yourself for a minute in the shoes of those who love you. Do you really think they would want you suffering? And think about how you would feel if you found out someone you cared about deeply was doing the same thing you're doing now. Wouldn't you want them to come to you so you could help them, or at least get them the help they need? If you couldn't help them as much as you wanted to, if you have big dreams you haven't fulfilled yet, if you want to make a difference in the world in ways you're insanely passionate about, know that you can still do all that. But first, you have to take care of your health and well-being, and sometimes that can be done by letting others, those who love you, know that you're not doing so well. I wish you a sense of inner peace, and I hope you find the courage, for your own sake and for those you love, to make the decision that's right for you. Thank you so much, angels, for joining me for another video. Whether you're a regular viewer or only came across my channel recently, maybe even just today, thank you for watching and subscribing. If you enjoyed this video, I appreciate you giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with those whom you know will also like it. Take care. I'll speak to you again very soon. Namaste.